lot of work to do. And apparently 9 billion was expended on this Olympics. Nigeria had the largest contingents from Africa, about 82 or 83 thereabout, and we still went and we came back, and it was still just, I don't know, because if I say show or shame, then it would be downplaying the hard work that our athletes had put in going there. But there's just, it's still a long way for us to go, in Nigeria. So Fuad, your thoughts on the Olympics?
My choice, disappointing. Extremely disappointing. But it's disappointing, but I must say that I was not disappointed, maybe, because when you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. It's just what it is, really. Very sad that the largest, most populous black nation in the world are going to the Olympics without picking a medal, not even a single medal,
not even a bronze,
not even a bronze medal.
Okay.
With all of the sports, God knows how many sports was done at the Olympics.
Yes, that's everything. Countless.
And if you look at Africa, South Africa was able to get 6 medals.
Yes.
Egypt got 3. Nigeria got 0. Kenya got 11 medals. Yes, Morocco had 2. Algeria had 3 medals. Ethiopia had 4 medals. Tunisia 3 medals. Zambia 1. Uganda 2. Angola, Guinea 0, Mali 0, South Sudan 0. But if you look at the number of people and the amount you put into this, close to 10 billion naira, if not more, went into this. Apart from 88 athletes, we had the highest number of government officials that also went to that Olympics. We had 88 athletes and got 0 medals. It's unbelievable. But again, look, let's ask ourselves, what are we doing in terms of getting talent, getting them young? Exactly. Where are the pitches? Where are the sport facilities across the country? Look at Lagos. Look around you. In our Antony there, where's the football pitch? Where are the boxing rings? Where are anything for? Where are the tracks for athletics? You understand? Even in school, where is school sports today? Because that's where the talents are gotten from.
I remember you always mentioned the Principal's Cup. The
Principal's Cup. What has become of the Principal's Cup, for example, for football? Then the athletics competitions. What are we doing? The school competitions. Inter sports these days is more of a jamboree. You understand? Unlike when inter sports are done, to really pick out talent. So look, it's just what it is, really. These things can't happen by you just wishing that it would happen. And I don't think you can blame our athletes standard. Look at the Nigerian born athletes represent Nigeria and fail to shine. Then they switch nationality, represent other countries and pick up medals.
4 of them.
So what are we? So you mean that you must know that there's something wrong about the CTEC there. Because you run for Nigeria as an athlete or you represent Nigeria, you are not able to pick any medal. And then you switch nationality, the next thing, you are picking medals. So it's just what it is, very unfortunate. This is probably the worst Olympics ever for us. And why it is terrible is that, look, with all of the talent we have in the country, with the manpower we have in the country, the youth population in the country, the most populous black nation in the world cannot even pick a medal in an Olympic situation.
It was grossly disappointing. People have said that Nigerian sports is grossly underfunded, which is a poor reflection, or which is a reflection rather of our poor economy. As it is now, just as you have rightly mentioned, Said Fuad, sports facilities are inadequate, poorly managed. Welfare of our elite athletes is poor compared to other countries where we are competing against. The young woman borrow bike from the German team. Exactly. Is one example.
Yeah, there are 2. It's talked about funding. What about the personnel, the people that are sport administrators?
That's the thing. So one of the sports journalists, I think Dr. Mumini Alawo said, and I quote, that the Nigeria Olympic Committee and many of the sports federations need a total shake-up. Most of the administrators there have nothing more to offer.
That's it. Completely nothing to offer. They've been there for years. Nigeria is a country where we don't really ask questions. You are in the position, you achieve nothing, or nobody asks questions. You are just there. Again, all of these appointments and elections into some of these federations are done as a result of political electronic. Who do you know? You understand? So you have round pegs in square holes. A lot of those guys have no idea what sport is supposed to be about. So and basically what they are there for is just their own. They just want to make money. Just make money from the whole thing, and nothing is achieved. Sandra, don't even go far. Look at our national stadium in Sweden. When last did you visit that place? That's supposed to be a facility that's supposed to help develop talent. Go into that stadium and understand how serious we are about development.
People are going there to gym, so
that's what it is. That's what the stadium is.
The nightlife there.
And then pepper soup at night.
The nightlife there in the stadium. In the stadium. People are drinking and having pepper soup. Well, anyways, that's as regards whatever it was that happened at the Olympics. Abysmal performance, 9 billion expended, gone down the drain. And Chioma Ajunwa, our golden girl, of course, has said that stop recycling old administrators. All of the sporting federations, the football, the swimming, or whatever, all the federations. There's no
federation.
I don't think we had the right. I'm even surprised we had someone at the cycling, events. That was
I was telling on Pyramid. I saw this one that looked like people paddling a boat, rowing or something they call it.
I said, we can do it.
I think so.
Sure, we cannot do it.
And I said, our Niger Delta people.
Why not?
Our Niger Delta people who are always on water with, bamboo stick to paddle canoe and all of that. If they have proper training and facility, they will do this easily.
Look at that.
I'm telling you. Even the swimming thing, you have people from riverine areas all over the country. What you just need is proper facility and training. Then the boxing standard. People are fighting everywhere in the street. But if you look at
carry on, please.
All these boys that are fighting, but the question is, what is the boxing federation doing? Where are the boxing facilities to train people? Because it's not just about the street fight. There are techniques, there are technicalities that come to this thing. So it's just a complete joke, really, Sandra.
Well,
I know there are leaders that will suggest that, look, if we are not prepared, can we stop doing some of this together? So we are not just wasting money.
Exactly, I mean, it is something people went, all the money spent, their gear.
Don't blame the athletes, Sandra. If you...
No, it's not the athletes. It's not athletes. No. Of course, I've just mentioned that underfunding and poor athlete management. These are the issues. I mean, we have four Nigerians who got medals at the Olympics, but are vying for another representing other countries.
Other countries.
Yes. Yeah. So, and if you ask most of them, I think 2 of them mentioned that it was due to the fact that they were not getting any support of any kind.
I think the one that the Canadian one. I think the Amas.
Yes.
No, the one that switched nationality to the US.
Oh, okay.
I picked up the medal. She came here. I think she qualified here in Nigeria, but she was not, presented at the Tokyo Olympics 4 years ago. And she switched nationality and she was able to pick medal. I think there's this other German girl that also was Sandra. But there's something I wanted to call your attention to before we start the show. I'm sure you must have seen the video of the lady that tore the international passport of her husband.
See, okay.
Did you see that video?
Before we get emotional and sentimental, we need to understand certain things. I was arguing this thing with someone. It's a family thing. I said no. The Nigerian passport is an identity
and a national asset. You don't.
National asset. You don't. It's just like the naira. You don't deface it. You don't. And right there in front of officials who should have done something. She should have been arrested. She should have been arrested at the airport. That was it. We are hearing that the Nigerian Immigration Service are now looking for her because she stole the Nigerian passport. Which is an offense. After Nigerians had come. What she did at the airport, the immigration people were there. They should have been arrested immediately. And look at the husband. Look. I saw somebody posted one of this particular video, and the caption was, "Some men they marry shallow." Like, what kind of woman is that? And the sad part for men, of the children. The children was even surprised, and you could hear some of the passengers saying that, look, that was what she was doing all through the flight. And then she came down and tore the international passport of the husband, and look at the way she was. And you saw some other people say, oh, it's good I didn't talk. You are a man. You are a man, so a man should die. So Naman, you don't talk. Naman you be.
And when we talk about domestic violence, people think it's just the women that suffer from it. There are men who are daily faced with domestic violence. Just imagine a man staying with this monster. Look at, and you saw that the man was just so quiet. What could have happened, Sandra? That you hear, I'm sure there are visas on their passport.
They're just coming from somewhere. They're just coming from somewhere. I just feel like I don't even know what to say. The man was too shocked. There are people that are justifying this, that we only know one side of the story. We don't know this other side of the story.
There can never be any other side.
I am not interested in any other side. I just believe that if there are issues, or if there were issues, I think that as a family, even if you were going to request for a divorce or demand for a divorce.
With Sandra, people saying that, you didn't even get the other side of the story. That means if this woman had killed the man, they will still say the same thing. The man is there, but he didn't get the whole story. Is that what they are saying? Because somebody that got to the point where she could tear the man's national passport, disgrace him publicly like that, can actually kill the man. I'm hoping that the immigration service people are going to do the needful. She needs to be punished, at least for tearing the Nigerian passport. The one of her and her husband, the family should take care of that one. It's a mental deal with that.
Most definitely. Whatever it was that must have happened, or if it did not happen, or it did happen, or whatever, I just it wasn't necessary. I was just absolutely astounding what happened there. And the man tried.
Like somebody said, some people they marry how. The same way we say some men are not marriageable, some women are not marriageable.
It's because
some women are people that I'm telling you, that should not even be anybody man's house. There are women. The same way we say there are some men that look, a woman should not even try getting you there, sometimes of marrying them. There are also women that I'm telling you, men should even just completely avoid them in their life.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. That was quite an unfortunate video that went viral yesterday of a woman. I think 3 children. The man was even still rolling the baby.
The baby. Just imagine.
And the 2 older kids, they were there. They watched the whole thing play out. She didn't say anything. We didn't get anything from either.
Do you know what the children have been saying? The drama.
Or what they must have been witnessing. And it's just. Deliberately waited until they landed in Nigeria, got onto Nigerian soil, and they did what they had to do. These things are things that these people know what they're doing. When you hear stories of people who travel abroad and they these people know what they're doing. They know that there are certain things that you can't do when you're out over there because of the rules and everything that protects every individual or every human being, and especially over there where some people will say, the law.
So if the man was holding a British tea, would the woman have done that at the intro in front of the immigration service there? She had the British passport.
Very, very good question, Fuad. Well, there's a lot more to talk about before we go into the trending stories for today. It's trends in the papers on mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra, and I have Fuad Saheed via the phone line. Before we go into the stories for today, I also need to highlight a major story that trended over the weekend, and that is as regards this report coming in that the presidential declaration of 570 billion announced by President Tinubu was let me quote now so that we take another look. Director Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, Dr. Sam Amadi, on a televised program said, and I quote, 500 billion announced by Tinubu, a presidential lie. We don't expect a high presidential speech of such critical importance addressing the nation as a way of ending national protest being disputed. To have this in the presidential address shows a fraudulent mindset from Dr. Sam Amadi. It was dealt with, extensively yesterday on Political Roundtable, but then just as it was also announced yesterday on Political Roundtable, two sitting governors have come forward to debunk that, this money that Mr. President is claiming to have given to us, this is something that it has always been our money, and we had been receiving in tranches. We have Jᴏɪṛ Aᴊɪṕ of Oyo State, who has been quite vocal in recent times, and then you also have the governor of
Nasarawa.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. I'm sure there are other things to also, there are other stories that will be digging deeper into that particular, controversy, whatever must have happened. Fuad, a presidential speech is controlled. It's not something that, it's not something that if somebody just wakes up and just come and start speaking on air. It's something that's meticulously written, controlled by the aides of the president, and ensure that there's no slip up.
And by the president too, because he was already
before coming out to make that particular, or maybe he didn't expect anybody to counter what he said. This thing just reminds me of a certain local government chairman in Ogun State that made an announcement, and all the other local government chairman had to go and beg. I say we don't know what this guy is saying.
I listened to Dr. Sam Amadi yesterday on TV, addressing this particular issue, and the exact word he used, which is very unfortunate, because at that level you expect that everything that comes from the president. He called it presidential. I think there's misinformation.
He called it presidential lie.
Yeah, he called it a presidential lie. How can I use? Because again, it's unfortunate really that we're now discussing the address of the president is supposed to be true in content and details. But unfortunately now we are now beginning to check and recheck whether the things the president has said are true or not. And one of them is the fact that, look, this announcement is looking like a lie from the president. And that should not be, because again, when we talk about transparency, accountability, openness, people have said that this presidency, this particular government particularly, have not been too truthful to Nigeria. And look at the way the governors are debunking it and saying that, look, these were loans that were secured during the Buhari era, and the monies have been coming in tranches to the state in the form of a loan. But when the president announced it, it was as if monies were given to the governors as intervention for the hardship in the country. And so that's what Jᴏɪṛ Aᴊɪṕ and WဃSoᴘ have been saying that, look, there's misinformation. So unless the presidency has more money they spend that they don't know about, and like you said, a presidential address is controlled. Somebody must have put the script together, have one or two conversations and meetings with the president. What do you want me to do? And then, look, you know that before the speech was read by the president, there was an advance copy to the press. So the president must have rehearsed it. It was recorded. It was not a live broadcast, even though it was done. The broadcast was transmitted live. But I'm sure it must have been recorded, probably edited, before we have the final thing on TV with the advance copy. So for such a statement to have come into the address, Sandra, I'm afraid that, look, the presidency should do better going forward. I'm sure we have situations where we are getting disinformation and misinformation from the address of the president. Not at that level, Sandra. It's not excusable.
It is really, really unfortunate, and so many doubts now coming with so many announcements that have made in recent times from the presidency as regards should we or should we not, especially.
No, Sandra, when we get to the point where we are now doubting everything the president says, we are in trouble.
Especially, recently, remember when there was a video that, was posted on the president's X handle, and Bayo Onunuga came and said, oh, that's an old video, and he had to retract his statement. And one would wonder what exactly is going on within the presidency.
Let me tell you something, Sandra. Somebody was asking me that, why is it that, these brilliant journalists, they suddenly become spokespersons, media aides to our politicians, and they fail woefully to do their jobs. And what I told that my friend is that, look, the fact that you're a brilliant journalist does not mean you're going to be a good PR person. The job of the special advisor on communication, spokespersons and all of that is purely a public relations job. You can be a brilliant writer as a journalist, it doesn't mean you're going to be a fantastic public relations person. Because public relations is crisis management. It's about managing the image of the president and also managing information from the president. A lot of these guys are just brilliant journalists. When it comes to PR, they don't even know what they are doing. That's why you see one guy, for example, fighting everybody. Whereas he's supposed to be bringing people and getting the people to the president, making friends for the president, communicating and creating goodwill for the president. Instead, he's fighting everybody. In public relations, you create goodwill between your principal and his audience. They have to be his friends. They have to like him. They have to love him. And you do that by only giving out the truth, addressing issues, not to deflect on it or begin to use propaganda. That's what we're taught in public relations.
Thank you very much, Said. 3 minutes past 8, and you're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. It's trends in the papers. Those are the major stories, anyways, that trended from over the weekend into this morning. So let's kick things off now with the major stories for today. I'll kick things off with the Punch newspaper. The major headline there on the front page of the Punch reads, Dangote Petrol, marketers wait as delivery date extended again. And we have a rider here that says refinery needs 15 cargoes for September, only 6 supplied. So there are strong indications that Dangote refinery may not roll out petrol on Monday in line with its earlier schedule. Let's not forget that last month, the president of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, had announced that, or had projected that the refinery will begin production of petrol between August 10th and August 12th, 2024. However, findings have revealed that the refinery might not roll out petroleum today. Multiple officials that are close to the development have confirmed that all was set before the end of August, but then all the supply of the much awaited PMS into the market today. So here we are now. This crude supply conversation is up again, and this is about 2 weeks or thereabout after the president gave a directive that NNPCL should make crude available in Naira to Dangote.
Sandra, it's we've always said it, that again, how we got ourselves to a point where, as an oil producing nation, we don't have functional refineries, and now that we have at least one functional refinery that is prepared and ready and capable to refine petroleum products, it's finding it difficult to get crude oil. It's a mystery. It's almost like, when are we going to wake up from this dream or nightmare? Let me put it at that. It's almost like a nightmare, really. How did it get to this point, Sandra? We talked about the oil sector yesterday on Political Roundtable. And if you check the figures, you check the data, you understand that there's something problematic about us as a people here in Nigeria. Because you can't even explain it. It's difficult for you to explain it. And like Adelaide once told me, the more you dig deep into the problem of the oil sector, the more the more you realize that the more confused you get, or the more you realize that as a nation we are going nowhere with these kinds of people ruling us or managing the affairs of the country. Because as it is now, what we are doing is that deliberately we are killing that refinery. Because look, what's a refinery when it doesn't have crude to refine? Because again, I'm sure that all of the business models in the world would have said that, look, it's a fantastic idea for you to build a refinery in an oil producing nation. So how has it become a problem for you to build a refinery in an oil producing nation? Sandra, you don't understand. Whether there are countries that have no crude oil, that have functional refineries. So it's just what it is. That would have told us again, we might be seeing a delay in the production of crude oil. Refined products from Dangote. It was going to come early August, and it is. There's the likelihood that it might not, because they've only gotten about 5 or 6. And I'm sure it's going to be looking at getting the rest from different parts of the world. If you have a refinery that's supposed to do 250,000 barrels a day, in 10 days they'll be doing about 6 million. You understand? So in a month, that refinery will be needing about 18 million barrels of crude oil. So that's just 1 month.
Well, as it is now, an informed person said the refinery is still awaiting 29 million barrels of crude from the NUPRC. The NUPRC is yet to fulfill the supply of the 29 million barrels that's promised to Dangote. They are still waiting. Surprisingly, the 29 million barrels were allocated on paper. They didn't get to the refinery. Yet, NUPRC told the media on Friday that the crude was supplied. Dangote refinery needs 15 cargoes for September alone, and only 6 cargoes have been supplied. Now, where do you want him to get the remaining 9 cargoes? He may have to import again.
Yes. So you will have to know he will import. He has been importing. So they've told him because that's what we have. We'll go and look for the you know they told him now. Now before you build this, I didn't do your research where you get the code from. Why are you bothering us?
So basically, this just for Dangote to sell to Nigerians, it has to be at a competitive rate. So Dangote will source crude at the international rate. So of course, how do we expect him to sell at a rate that is below the cost price?
No, he may not even sell to the country because at the end of the day, he may pay him because we will not be able to afford it. So you probably look at the international market. Look at his diesel. I think whatever diesel is able to produce in the last 8 months or so, I think less than 10% of that is what he has sold to the Nigerian market, been exporting it. Because again, we are not even entitled to anything he's doing now, Sandra. Whatever he's doing to us is just helping us.
He's able.
It's help now because the man has been going out there. Look, he told us that what else did you give to me? I look for money all over the world to build this refinery. Even in Lagos, that people have thought that we did something and do $1.7 billion in supply of crude, or he didn't do. Staggered and almost made a mess of his business plan as far as this refinery is concerned. Look at where he is now. You now have a back and forth between Dangote and the regulators. I supply, you didn't supply. You now have to run a business. And that's the same way we run our own refineries on ground.
NUPRC is arguing that they had facilitated the domestic supply of crude to Dangote and other refineries. And according to them, NUPRC is saying there's a breakdown that shows that 9 refineries benefited from over 32 million barrels of crude. Dangote alone enjoyed 29. Warri refinery, look at that. Warri refinery.
Crude oil.
Yeah.
So the question is, you are allocating crude oil to non-functional refinery.
Maybe that's why they're small.
Those are small, but so when the crude oil you allocate to Warri refinery, for example, what are they going to do with it?
And Port Harcourt.
And Kaduna and some other refineries that are not in the capacity for now to refine anything. So why are you allocating crude to them? I don't know, because the only information we have, because the experts have told us that as far as Nigeria is concerned today, the refinery we have now that has the capacity to refine is still the Dangote refinery. The other refiners, yes, we have invested, but they are not even in a position yet to be able to refine anything. So those refineries you are locating, actually the government-owned refineries, what are you going to do with the crude allocation, even if it's just 1 barrel? Why are you allocating to them when they can't refine anything? Or you are allocating in the future that they will work. You keep it there till when they start working.
Well, let's not forget that sometime earlier this year, I don't know if you remember the Africa CEO Summit in Rwanda,
yes,
where Aliko Dangote gave high hopes, made a lot tall promises as well, saying that according to him, saying that if we follow the laid down plans of the Dangote refinery, Nigeria will no longer need to import petrol starting from June 2024. And unfortunately, here we are. It's August, and there's no crude supply in sight. Well,
Sandra, people making money from importation of petroleum products, not allow it to happen. The Dangote refinery, with its capacity, can take care of our domestic needs when it comes to refined petroleum products. It has the capacity, it's big enough. A 650,000 barrels refinery has that capacity. The entire 4 refinery of Nigeria is about 445,000 barrels. So the Dangote refinery, yes, it's correct. It can take care of our domestic needs. All we need to do is to get in the number of crude in it, the amount of crude in it to refine. While we're also working to fix other refineries and get other modular refineries to work, we can be self-sufficient, Sandra, when it comes to refining locally and taking care of our local needs and even exporting and making forex.
Let's look at this as well before we move on to the next story. Fuad, I also have here that while speaking with the Dangote Group alleged that IOCs, that's the international oil companies, are frustrating crude supply. The group said that IOCs are insisting on selling crude to Dangote through their foreign agents. So the local price of crude will continue to increase because the trading arms offer cargoes at $2 to $4 per barrel, which is way above NEPRC's official price. There's just a lot of revelation, a lot of back and forth that's been going on between Dangote and the regulators, NNPC, and the federal government. It's really unfortunate. And just like Barrister Curtis said yesterday, you spend so much money in trying to convince FDIs to come into the country, and they are watching how you are treating one of your own. So how do you expect to convert people into coming to invest in your country? It's really unfortunate.
If you see a mother that beats her own child,
we allow your own child to go and steal.
And then the same mother is telling you, bring your child now, where you are going, I don't need to take your child with you, just come and drop your child.
Come and drop, dude.
Usually you don't kill your own child.
No. That's not good, don't worry.
It's really very rough. And that's why Alhaji Aliko Dangote is high. He has even told the government, bring the money, come and take the refinery. Just don't even bring extra $1. This 20 billion, just give it to me.
Alright, well, it's 14 minutes past 8 and you're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. This is Trends in the Papers, and that's the major headline on the front page of the Punch. Dangote Petrol, marketers wait as delivery date extended again. Even as we are in August, we're still expecting the commencement of activities at the Port Harcourt refinery. They said August, they didn't give a date.
There are activities there, Sandra. There are people who resume there every day. The activity we are waiting for is the refining of petroleum products. Activities there, Sandra. People are going there, they wake up, go there.
Refining activities, what? Refining activities.
Let's you say, what are you telling me? The activities there. People are there now. Just passing around.
They just received crude recently. About 57,000. They were part of the 9 refineries that NEPRC said they delivered crude to.
Like one of the energy experts said, was the other Emmanuel something, that the only thing that will make you believe that Port Harcourt refinery is working is when they refine petrol and they bring it out from that facility. Refine petrol, diesel. Not that you say it's working. About Sharon City guy, they just like something. We have completed mechanical work 70%. We are still on that mechanical work
since December.
Standard.
Alright, moving on, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper. ICPC arrests top NACON officials over 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy, and that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. So let's see what exactly we have here. So some top officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria have been arrested by ICPC over alleged mismanagement or diversion of the 90 billion that was released by the federal government to subsidize the 2024 Hajj pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. And they were arrested in their offices. They've been taken to the anti-graft agency's office. They have been inviting them, but they were not go.
It's good now. It's good.
Look at that.
Go and carry them now.
That's gone. But it's gone now.
Yes, they should go and pick them now. They should go and answer questions. The 90 billion is huge.
Let's move on.
And it's important. Yeah.
They've
arrested them. Yeah.
To the Guardian newspaper, the major headline there reads: electricity tariff may spike over weak fiscal position and 2.1 trillion naira subsidy. So what we have as writers here: concerns as NERC removes federal government from commercial model, enforces bilateral market, illiquidity worsens 4 years after CBN set up escrow account. Power plants may shut down as poor remittances threaten 6,000 megawatts target. So there is an outstanding debt before the Tinubu's government. That's 3.3 trillion naira. The power sector owes banks. There's also subsidy conversation. And unmetered customers at this time now is 7.3 million. That's unmetered customers. Average electricity generation, unfortunately, 4,500 megawatts. Now,
so let me ask you a question before you take this story. From what you read headline and the rider, and what you've been talking about in the oil sector, between the oil sector and the electricity sector, which one is the most problematic? Which is more problematic between the two?
I'm sorry.
For you,
exactly. For me, I would say it's the oil sector. I would say
you don't think it's power sector too? Between the two.
But they're both just incredibly.
Which one is more problematic?
I'm sensing for you it's the electricity sector.
You think so? Or the oil sector?
For you?
For me, I don't even know which one it is.
Well, it's really unfortunate what's going on, especially with this subsidy. The subsidy conversation keeps coming on, and it's really also unfortunate that I feel like subsidy is being demonized at this point now. It's almost sounding like subsidy is a bad thing or it's a terrible thing. Every time we hear about it, it's just being seen as something that is a terrible thing. Exactly.
We don't have the money. That's what you hear about subsidy.
So
whereas other parts of the world they do it because that's what the government is supposed to be doing. They need to help the poor and the vulnerable.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if there's no last minute intervention, in the next 2 months, Nigerians will start paying the full cost of electricity. Because NERC is seeking to eliminate the stabilization role of the federal government to transition the sector's commercial framework to a bilateral framework. And as it is now, Nigeria's weak fiscal position is compounded. Apparently, there's a 2.1 trillion naira subsidy on electricity. And there's just been a real crisis on that. Just last week, we talked about the fact that NNPC said the federal government is owing them 4.7 trillion. Here we are now, the electricity sector is saying, look,
2.something trillion.
There's a 2.1 trillion electricity subsidy. So, that's all right. Well, here that's where we are now.
Sandra,
yes.
All of the touring you read from that report is that there's still a push for us to go to what the Minister of Power and the government is calling cost-reflective tariff. What we are being told is that, look, whatever you think you are paying now that you are complaining about, we are actually even subsidizing it. That's what. So if you have any Nigerian somewhere that I think complain about electricity tariff, what the government is telling you that, look, you are not even paying what you are supposed to be paying. We are helping you to pay part of it. And that part of it is what has gone into about 2.something trillion, and we cannot continue. So at the end of the day, we want to remove our hand so that you can pay what you're supposed to pay as cost-effective tariff. One of the push for cost-effective tariff is the band A we already see that has become problematic. So for that, we break it down, that is what they are saying. And so we may get to the point where, like we did for PMS, subsidy will become unsustainable, and they want to remove it and tell you that, look, whatever money we are supposed to be paying on electricity subsidy, move it to other things that we will never see. So they have to prepare themselves. We started with band A, and it's going to get to the point because what the story has been, especially from this particular Minister of Power, is that, look, they need more money, they need more revenue, and they can not continue to subsidize the tariff for Nigeria. We need to move to cost-effective tariff, and that's the only way they can justify service-effective tariff standard. So Nigerians to prepare, we are just trying to read what the story is saying so that Nigerians understand some of it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Shafat. It's really unfortunate what we have. If we are to break this down, it will take a lot. So an expert needs to come in at some point. We also need to look at the fact that we have about 7.3 million unmetered customers, and what is going on basically means that the NERC has removed the federal government from the equation. So now Discos will engage directly with consumers as regards how much you'll be paying. So if the federal government is no longer
what I've just said now. What have they been doing before?
You're helping us.
No, you see, the entire electricity power value chain is very clear and easy to understand. The question we've been asking, and nobody seems to have given an answer at the government level, is that, look, what part of the value chain exactly are you subsidizing? Is it at the generation level, at the transmission end, or distribution end? Because what we are saying is that before you talk about cost-effective tariff, can we first debate service-effective tariff? Is the service available justifying what Nigerians are even paying to start with? Before you can talk about cost-effective tariff, and we need to unbundle the whole thing, tear it apart to know the exact part of the electricity value chain that is subsidized. Because you are not hearing trillion is being used to subsidize. Where, which part? They will tell you generation that, oh, the price of gas has gone up. Oh, you know, the government has been helping to mitigate the cost of gas to people that are generating power. Everything is bundled up stands in Nigeria. But let us agree, like I said, that there's subsidy on electricity. Is that supposed to be a problem? Why is that anything subsidy in Nigeria is a no-no? It's almost like a taboo. So then what can the people enjoy from government? What exactly are the people enjoying from government? From the God-given resources of this nation? What are we enjoying?
Thank you very much. Mainland 98.3 FM, you're listening to Truths in the Papers, and we're looking through major stories here. We're on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, paying well over, especially the Band A customers, well over the 209 naira per kilowatt an hour that we're already paying. Oil refinery decries NNPCL's failure to supply crude. I'm intrigued at this point because Edo Refinery is one of the refineries that the NEPRC mentioned that got crude.
Should be refinery got crude, they will know.
58,504. That's what NEPRC said they supplied to Edo Refinery. But now,
is it possible to supply and the refinery will not know that they got?
Everybody's now speaking up.
Maybe supply is still coming. Is supply in advance.
Sorry. Well, the story is on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here on the front page of the Guardian how Tinubu hurriedly terminated CBN's special investigation. That is on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. So I'm sure we've not forgotten very quickly. Sometime last year, there was a special investigator who was appointed, Jimoh Bassey, appointed special investigator of the CBN and other financial entities. That is. And there was a panel. Tinubu may have capitulated to political intrigues in the presidency as well as other vested interest, and called off his earlier resolve to sanitize leading of the special investigator and his team was the nail in the coffin. And this is quite an interesting read. Sources privy to events that led to what is now seen as a premature closure of the assignment confided that the press statement announcing the closure came before a serious examination of the extent of collaboration between those who managed CBN and managers of related entities. In recent times, the only thing we've gotten from Jimoh Bassey had been doing quite a lot. The Jimoh Bassey panel rather has been quite a lot. There's been a lot of revelations, especially on Godwin Emefiele. But I feel like the moment is the Bassey from a panel, a Godwin Emefiele party. So that's where I'm going. So the moment the investigation is now teetering towards other people, here we are now.
They shut it down and then they said it has ended. So it was just about Mayfield.
Well?
Yes, that's basically that's what it's looking like. And it's a financial entity. The NNPCL was supposed to come into it, the fraudulent subsidy payment. And that's why when they talk about probe, someone like nothing happened.
Well, there's quite a lot to take away from this particular report. There's quite. There are even
a long report. Very extensive.
There are even allegations that Jimoh Bassey himself, had taken bribes. Because there were allegations exactly. There were allegations that Jimoh Bassey himself had taken bribes because the panel became a subject of integrity test, with the leader to have said to have been petitioned by different individuals who claimed that he had taken bribes. But then, with only Emefiele being seriously prosecuted out of 159 individuals said to have been indicted cited by the interim report of the panel, the process may have been hijacked by politicians and politically exposed persons, whereas the CBN has gone ahead to relieve the indicted directors who are now seeking redress from the National Industrial Court of Nigeria. Many of those also accused of some wrongdoings during Emefiele's 9 years in office have been shielded from the law. It's a very long
thing. So is it just about Emefiele? So all of the things that Emefiele is accused of, he did it all by himself, alone. Let's begin.
All right, moving on. We have run out of time now. I'll just, read out some headlines here. We have NLC demands apology from federal government and the police over raid on headquarters, which happened last week, and there was public outcry on that one. That's on page 4 of the Guardian. NDIC reimburses Heritage Bank customers with less than 5 million naira deposits. That should have happened. That's on page 4, and that's all we can take on the front page of the Guardian. For Vanguard newspaper, the major headline reads: End blame game, halt bad policies. Labour Obi Lukman tell Tinubu. Labour alleges harassment and intimidation of members by government, says invasion of Labour House, deliberate attempts at provocation. Condemns plan to frame up innocent citizens on trumped-up charges. Protest calls for leadership action against growing poverty, says Obi. And hunger protest, enough grounds to impeach Tinubu and governor, says Lukman. And that's on page 26 of Vanguard newspaper. And that's all we can take, unfortunately. The Olympics conversation is also on the front page of Vanguard, and it's on the back page of Vanguard, so you can get more details there. And that's all we can take for this morning on Trends in the Papers. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back by 8:40 for Milan Focus, so please stay tuned.